What if I told you that you only need 3 things to have $10,000 by the end of the year? What if I told you all 3 of these things are achievable and you most likely already have them? Saving money can be difficult, especially in today's economy of prices rising by the day, but there's definitely still a way for you to take advantage of your situation and just make the best out of it. Getting right into it, if you want to save $10,000 by the end of the year, you only need 3 things. Those 3 things are an income, a budget, and discipline. So let's start off with income. If you're looking to start saving money, then I assume then you're already making money. If not, then you might want to get started on that first. Like, seriously, go get a job and then come back to this video. I'll wait. Okay, so now that you do have a source of income, let's break down this concept in the most simplest way possible. I'm going to be referring to myself in this example, and trust me, I know everyone has a different situation going on, but I think the point will still get across well. So let's just use this for example. Let's say that you have an income of $25,000 per year after tax. Like I said, this might be a high income for some, or it might be low income for others. I just think that it's a decent middle ground to at least start at. If you break down $25,000 per year to a weekly basis, you'll be making $480 per week. If you get paid bi-weekly, then you'll be making $961 every 2 weeks approximately. Now, if we divide the amount of weeks in a year, which is 52, by $10,000, we get $192.30 per week. If you were to deposit that same amount into a savings account every week, you would have $10,000 by the end of the year. Doing this will leave you with $287.70 weekly or $575.40 bi-weekly, which would then leave you with a monthly income of $1,150 per month after taxes and savings. But what if there was an even simpler way to break this down? Perhaps a way to make some of these numbers less daunting and give you a better perspective on why you should be saving your money. So let's take $10,000 and divide that amount by 365, which is the amount of days that there are within a year. That number comes up to $27.47. This means that for $27.47 per day, you could have $10,000 in your account by the end of the year. Now, this might stick out for a lot of people because when you break down your daily spending and look at some of the unnecessary purchases that you make, you will most likely see that you are actually spending way more than $27.40 per day on things that you don't actually need. Look at how much you're eating out instead of buying groceries and cooking meals while saving money. Think about the money you spend on Ubers and going out to party when you could have just probably stayed home and watched a movie or read a good book. I know those are boring alternatives, trust me, I get it, but at the end of the day, if you are looking to actually save money, you're going to have to make sacrifices like that to meet your goal. Most likely you are more than capable of saving $27 a day, or at the very least you can try to limit your spending. Keep in mind the fact that every day you spend over $27, you are closer to spending $10,000 by the end of the year instead of actually saving it. Okay, so the next step here is to have a budget that you can actually follow. Your budget needs to be realistic because there's no point in trying to severely limit your expenses because then you'll just end up disappointed when you go over budget every single month. Now, I won't go too deep into budget making in this video. At this point in time, I haven't made a full video on how to make a proper budget. However, there are plenty of videos on YouTube and just other sources online that can actually help you with making a proper budget. The only thing I can tell you guys is please do not spend money on an app. There are a bunch of budget making apps out there, a bunch of websites that you do not need. The only thing that you need to make a proper budget is access to your bank account, pen, and a paper. Those are the only 3 things that you need to actually make a budget and see where your money is going and plan for the future. So let's look at a very, and I mean very simple budget I've outlined here so that you can at least get a general idea of what a budget should look like. First thing you want to do is highlight your monthly income after taxes, and then you also want to put down the amount of money you're going to actually add to your savings. So here we have $1,150 at the very top. Now let's assume you still live at home with your parents, but you're a good kid, so you decide to contribute $300 per month towards rent and household expenses, leaving you with $850 left. The average monthly price for groceries for a single adult is around $275 per month. If you're living at home, most likely your groceries are paid for by whoever you live with, but in this example, let's just assume you're on your own when it comes to feeding yourself. So let's say you set aside around $250 per month, leaving you with about $600 left in your budget. Now, the reason why I say $250 instead of $275 is because at the end of the day, you're on a budget. You shouldn't be splurging on high-priced groceries and snacks. You could get all the ingredients that you need for a protein-packed pasta for around $25 and live off of that for like a week if you needed to. Remember, all of this is just assuming that you're actually paying for groceries in the first place while living at home, which is unlikely in the first place anyways. Alright guys, so next up we have $70 that you need to set aside for your phone bill, leaving you with $530 left for the rest of the month. Now, even though you live at home in this example, it is still likely that you do pay your own phone bill. I don't know why parents just hate paying the phone bills. Like, as soon as you get of age and you get like your own job, they instantly just throw that on you, like they're done paying your phone bill. I don't understand it at all. And finally, the good news out of this very simple budget is that you can set aside $250 to yourself. This money you can do whatever you want with. You could go crazy, and then after setting that aside, you would still have $280 left over. The good news about this is that technically you could go crazy and have up to $530 to just go crazy on if you wanted to. However, the more responsible thing to do is to take that $280 and you would use that to build your emergency fund. Remember, your savings are not your emergency fund. Yes, at the end of the day, if you need money and your savings is all that you have, then of course you gotta do what you gotta do. But realistically speaking, your savings should be separate from the money that you dip into when a random expense comes up. Trust me, they definitely do come up, and you definitely need to make sure that you are properly prepared to handle these events. Typically, your emergency fund should be around 2 to 3 months of your income, and honestly, you should build it up aggressively before you even start saving in the first place. Alright, so the last thing that you're going to need for all this to work is discipline. This might actually be the hardest one because at the end of the day, it all relies on you. You're the one that's responsible for your spending habits and making sure that you're staying on track. It's no one else's responsibility but your own. It can be so easy to see an item you want and impulsively buy it, but you got to ask yourself, how many times have you purchased products over the years that you haven't even used? How many times have you wasted money on things that you didn't need, or wasted money on food that you couldn't finish? This is all money that could have went and contributed towards the $27 a day. Having the discipline to stop yourself from making these choices is what separates the average person from a millionaire. The reality is, if you're watching this video, then most likely you weren't born rich, and that's okay. A lot of millionaires and even billionaires made something out of nothing. It's all about how you apply yourself and keep pushing yourself when things get hard. And trust me, things definitely will get hard at some point. Your impulses will try to take over. You will try to convince yourself that you deserve that new pair of shoes or that you need a new phone, but you have to have the willpower to just keep moving forward. If you struggle with controlling your spending, the first thing that you should do is just take a deep breath and look at all your spending habits from the past few months. Don't be lazy, grab that calculator and add everything up. This way you just get a general idea of where you spend the most money. Then you can find ways to limit your spending by taking money out of your bank account and only spending cash. Seeing the physical cash in the wallet may help you better understand the money that you're spending compared to just swiping your card or tapping your phone. You can find ways to store your cash, maybe in an old-fashioned piggy bank that you can only open if you break it. You can even store your digital funds in an investment app like Robinhood. Robinhood takes a few days to process a withdrawal, meaning that you can't make an impulse purchase because you won't have the funds readily available. Just remember, if you do this, that you should have an emergency fund in both cash and in an online bank account in case a serious emergency does come up and you need that money right away. You don't want to wait 4 or 5 days for Robinhood to send it to you. Overall, if you want to save $10,000 or more within 1 year, it all starts with you. Take a look at your income, your budget, and your spending, and apply the discipline needed to get the job done. I believe in you, and I know that you can do it, so you should also believe in yourself as well. Alright guys, that's going to be the end of this video. Let me know if you guys enjoyed or if you guys learned something new. Also, feel free to ask questions or drop some suggestions for the next video in the comment section down below. I have a free Telegram channel where I basically call out stocks and forex trades to look out for, while also calling out new video announcements. So, feel free to check that out if you guys have the time. But yeah, I appreciate you guys for watching. I'm see you guys in the next video, and peace.